Hey, we're live. Oh, are we live? We're live. Yes, we're live. Of course we are. Until Lee Zavries, Brian White, and myself, Brian Kellison, welcome to the Spincast Cycling Show. We're live until I tell you to, if I say it, then you'll just stop the stream and we'll only have a stream for like 10 minutes. But we were just talking about Rad, which is right up there, VHS. I have the VHS of Rad. Filmed in Cochrane, Alberta, correct? Cochrane is in Alberta. No, it was filmed in Cochrane. I believe Cochrane is in Alberta.
Yes.
Yeah. So Canadian National Hour begins with the Rad VHS talk. And there was a screening right before COVID, and Lee was telling us a story. I said we should have it on the show. Tell us the story. Go.
Well, it was re-released in select theaters prior to COVID. And it actually came to Nanaimo, but I missed it, which is not rad. It would have been rad to go see it. Yeah. So speaking of rad, we've been trying to get my kids to say rad and they hate it. So we say rad at our house as much as possible.
That is rad. Brian, have you seen Rad before?
I'm actually Googling because I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Oh, we need to watch it. We need to have like a podcast where we just watch it.
If you want motivation, which is what I wanted, one of the topics I wanted to touch on tonight was motivation. Like I have like zero to no motivation to ride my bike inside.
Yeah.
If I had the time to go outdoors, I would. But there's a scene that I use a lot. It's qualifying. Brian, I'm going to hook you up. You're going to be able to see this movie.
Okay.
The qualifying. So Crew Jones, he's like a kid in high school and he wants to do the thing, whatever. It's a cheesy 80s movie, coming of age sort of thing, but good actors and great production value because the director, Hal Needham, was a stunt coordinator, I think, for like Clint Eastwood and a lot of action movies. So he did a lot of stunt work and then he became an actor. Yeah. He became a director. And I think he did it. What was another movie that he did was big? It's a Hal Needham one. But Crew Jones has to qualify. He's the local kid to qualify to race hell track to have a shot, right? It's got some of the best motivation for cycling, even though it's BMX. But it's like got cool like 80s rock music, it's like going for it. I can't remember the song and I listened to it so much I can't remember it offhand, but that is what we need. I need that kind of motivation to get on the bike, to put my body on the bike to do virtual cycling or e-cycling or inside cycling. Why is it so hard for me to stay motivated right now?
Yeah, I'm in the same situation with motivation. Like I got
of course, life happens.
Yeah.
But yes. Yeah.
That's with me. And then it's like, I think also I was training so hard and like all that caught up with the recovery. And like my legs were so sore for a period. I just didn't even want to ride the bike because I know it was so sore to do everything else. Like, yeah, the motivation for me is real low, partly because of life stuff. And then it's just, it's a lot easier to eat a fudge round and we're rewatching the show. If anyone's ever seen it, called White Collar, it's very good. It just came to Netflix. We enjoyed it. So we're letting eat a fudge round, sit on the couch and watch a few episodes of White Collar.
Was that on the old USA Network?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, back whenever we paid for cable, that was.
Yeah.
We watched.
Lee, did you guys have the USA Network in Canada?
I don't think so.
No, that's
you might have it now, but probably not.
There's a channel, or there was a network called the USA Network. It should have been worldwide because the USA is so important.
Shoving all their networks in everyone's faces
on the world stage.
Yeah,
it's the #1 station of the world, the USA Network. No, I was just joking. But it had like before it became more well known in the United States, it was like it had wrestling, it had cartoons, and it had a show I loved. It's called Silk Stockings. You know that one, Brian? You ever heard of Silk Stockings?
I remember that. I don't know what it is, but I remember it.
Okay. Super cheese. It was actually filmed in San Diego, where I grew up. But the the motivation for like, hey, do you want to stare at the wall? Do you want to watch a Netflix, which is what I used to do when I first, before I got into
Yeah.
Zwift.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was, what were the things that got you motivated? Like, what could get you motivated? That's sort of the topic right now. We'll get into the other stuff like the fake cycling of Zwift and all their cool updates and Indie Velo and My Whoosh and all the other stuff. But what
Now,
was the
I
thing
got a
that got you?
question.
Okay,
Before
go.
we go there, when you first started, did you have rollers or did you have a trainer? Like, what did you start on? What was your first setup?
First setup when I rode inside or stationary was a Feedback Sports, which I still have. It's locking the front fork, but rollers on the rear wheel. That was my first thing. That was my first foray into sort of warming up, or because when I would go do races, I would just warm up in the parking lot, like ride around a bunch of times to warm up. But I know you did rollers on Zwift at the beginning, right?
Yeah, I started with rollers. I don't remember what year it was, but it was before I started Zwifting. And my daughter, she's watching her fish tank over here. We watch the cheesiest Amazon movies. I mean, I can't even describe how cheap. Like, the budget was $200, but we'd watch those things. I'd be riding the rollers, we'd be sitting there. She was like 2, 3, 4, something, you know what I mean? Maybe even, but yeah, that's how I started. And then
so rollers and just watching DVDs or just television shows.
Yeah. That's how I started with the.
What was it for you, Lee?
I skipped straight to Zwift on rollers.
Oh, you went, so
Zwift was like my very first foray into any kind of indoor type riding.
Wow. Okay.
And I was actually bought rollers because I already had a power meter on my road bike.
Oh, okay.
But I bought rollers because they were like $90.
Yeah, I had a power meter too, and then I had the Feedback Sports roller fork on roller thing, but I never did the balancing rollers. I have some now, but so you just went straight like outside to Zwift. There was no like, hey, I'm gonna do this. Like, you just immediately adopted Zwift.
I was at work one day scrolling on my coffee break and Zwift popped up or something. I don't even know. And I was like, what is this? This looks awesome. And it was like September of 2026. Like, I think it had just come out of
2016.
Yeah. 2016. And so I think it just came out of beta and it was fairly new. And I was like, this looks fantastic. How do I do this?
Yeah.
Problem, actually, I think rollers, though, in general, people should actually pull their rollers out of their attic once in a while.
Oh, I do
ride them.
Well, I still have a ladder next to me. Like, I am not good. So it's a good way to get better at bike handling.
Well, sort of, pedaling gets smoother because otherwise you're chunking along.
Yeah.
I wasn't super awesome on rollers, but I got to the point where I could reach for something.
Yeah,
like take a
water
drink,
bottle. Yeah,
and like, but I'd be like, whoa, like.
There's little tips on the like YouTube and stuff where you can go like, hey, these are like the 5 things that you should work on get better. And one was like pedal and coast. Like you can go and then coast and then pick the speed back up, but don't herk and jerk and do.
Here's a funny thing with coasting and pedaling. So as wheels got lighter, I had carbon wheels and I had tubeless tires, and I hadn't ridden the rollers for a really long time. Pulled them out. The tires had such low rolling resistance and the wheels were so light that you could only coast for about a second and a half. But your power output, I could only hit 250 watts on the roller because there was no rolling resistance.
Okay.
I stuck an old pair of jeans underneath the rear rollers to add resistance. That's how I got it, because I wasn't going to
light your house on fire.
That sounds very, very West Virginian.
Yeah. Hey,
Hey, I got some old blue jeans. I just throw them on my rollers.
Actually, the kids would wear them these days, though. Roller burned out jeans. That's a new thing. You could totally sell those.
That's a marketing thing. Once I moved out to the garage, that's when I did it. That's when I started, because I was like, like you said, you'd spin out after a while, and it's like, I want to do some intervals. And I was like, how do I do that? So I said, I'm not spending $400 for the True Trainer, whatever it was at the time, the high end ones. So it's an old pair of blue jeans and They're one of the, I think it was Nash Bar. I think that's who it was. Nash Bar Rollers.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just watched movies. Like I put on like movies that were like Fist of the North Star was one that I watched, was an anime movie. But you know, like action movies to kind of keep the, you know, there's always lulls and stuff, but just something that had some action. Rad was one. North Shore, the surfing movie. You haven't seen that one, Brian, I bet.
I don't think so.
See, you
So
guys think
even in between Zwift, I did try to get into movies, but yeah, you need action. Because what would happen is if I was paying attention to a movie, I would get slower and slower and slower. And then you're pedaling about this fast and you're doing about 50 watts and you're like, why am I even here?
Yeah, that's the thing is I was talking to Bjorn from Indie Velo. That's what I'm going to say. He's from Indie Velo. But he sent me a little side note about, oh, hey, he sent me a video of him doing the velodrome, which I think the velodrome is sort of not inspiring to me, but there is dynamic racing. There is something to like a crit or a small short circuit. I just think that like it's an oval. Yeah, there's racing, of course. It's not something I like want to do. I know there are people that's why it exists in Indie Velos. Somebody requested it and it became a thing, but it's not something that motivates me. The
racing one there, I've been in both where it's boring. You just ride in circles. And then I'm assuming that's when the bots became a little bit smarter to where they attacked. And I think it's the style of racing too on that velodrome.
Sprint races are probably more exciting. Scratch races are boring.
I think points in sprint.
Or is it scratch? I mean, points. What did I say? Points racing.
Yeah.
Or
scratch is just, it sucks. But the points, oh man. You are VO2 a lot until they settle down. Probably the first 5 laps. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing is like, that's one thing I noticed about Vindy Velo that I was just recently noticing is like, I have a slow ramp to a top speed. Like I'm always going backwards quickly. And then I have to get back into the group. And I do that in Zwift too. That's why I see the similarities between Zwift and Indie Velo a lot. Like that early physics, the early of the race physics is I have to be going like super hard to like just stay with the group. And then once I get into the draft and I'm moving, then I'm like, I can hang it. I can move around perfectly fine. So that's the thing that frustrates me is the shot out of a cannon, which I don't like because no one has to click in. Like people like there's kind of a neutral in Indie Velo. You can set up a little intro, like a neutral zone, but
you mean like shot out of a cannon, like RGT starts?
Yeah, that too. Which was no one had any physics for 200 meters on RGT, where everyone went like super fast, and it was like no draft or anything, and you just go for 200 meters, and then it settled in.
You wind up to 1200 watts as soon as it hits 0, and you just 0 to 60 1 second.
I remember when I wasn't paying attention a couple times, and my power meter and everything wasn't connected. And I'm like warming up because you're in the pin and you're not really moving because you're just sitting there, but you're pedaling and you can see your numbers, but I wasn't looking at my numbers. And the group, it was a Tuesday nighter, group went off and I'm like, oh, I'm not connected. So I had to go to sensors and connect all my stuff and then chase back. So those were fun. Yeah. All right. Do we want to get into all the new updates? I just wanted to touch on motivation and like,
I think
getting fit again. I'm overweight. I'm eating. I'm not caring about my diet and stuff like that. It's like, I think what you're saying, Brian, is like after your recovery, after I raced the nationals and then it was sort of like, kind of chilling, doing some stuff. I was racing here and there. Then Zwift games, which I didn't really care about, but I also have my life stuff, which is the construction and the remodeling of my house, which takes away. But like, I don't have any goals to like stay focused on be fit. There isn't really much out there. It's just more of like upkeep. And I wasn't really focused on upkeep. And that's why motivation is way low for me.
Well,
Yeah,
I think it's really hard to have more than, say, 2 or 3 goals a year and just continually maintain, because you got to ride 14 hours a week, once you hit a certain level to maintain. So usually what happens, you have like, okay, I'm going to do this race, Brian, it's usually for you for nationals because you're going hard. And then it's like, once that's over, you're like, well, geez, that was it.
That was January. That was like the first weekend of January.
2024 is like, I'm done.
I go through periods too where like, I'll race every day. I'll be focused on workouts, but then I get to the point, and I think that's where I'm at right now, is like, I just want to ride my bike. I don't want to have to do a workout, or I have to do this, whatever it is. You know what I mean? I just want to get on and do whatever I want, and that's it. So, and that's the like casual, the easy ride people that get on there. Like, they just want to do their thing. And that's like, I'm in the middle right now. I don't want to have to go do a workout. I don't want to have to race, but I want to. But you know what I mean? It's just like, I just want to get on to like intervals, and I'm watching my CTL and all that, just, free fall. That's the bad part. And I've actually removed the bookmarks from my browser so I don't see it, on the bar. Cause
but can you do the stuff you want to do, the ride free, without the do you need the XP, and do you need the badges? Because there's the new badges. We'll get into the new stuff. So all the new announcements, like, what is it, Mount Fuji, all the Zwift announcements.
If the badges correlated with actual new roads, yeah, I'd be excited. But no, we're just getting the same routes in reverse. Like, who cares? I'll eventually pick them up with a, you know what I mean?
A racer, an event.
Yeah,
you would do.
Right. Yeah, a jersey unlock if they're in a different world, or like whatever. But yeah, I'm not really.
So that's not motivational for you.
Yeah, the routes, no. The XP, they kind of ruined it because they were all over the place with it. And I know we've talked about it before, but and I'm testing something because Kellison was talking going live. He had issues with his computer. Well, I don't know if it's my power supply. I have no idea. But when my computer goes to sleep, it like loses all power and then goes back to like where it's shut off. So I've been leaving Zwift running so it just stays on. It runs perfect. So we're going to see if they force me to update. So we're just,
so you're going to have you're going to be in like September, well, on the old stuff, getting do we have any of this? Do we have some early science of, hey, yeah, if you don't update, you still get the better XP? Can you?
Well, I will say this, in the phase rollouts, if you remember when they changed the stupid jungle, Casey, who's in chat, we did science. He had the update, I didn't, and it was a game changing.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. That's when they
smoothed out. Tell me. I'm rolling my eyes. I'm rolling my eyes because I'm rolling my eyes, but the audience wants to know what's game changing.
Okay. They changed the rolling resistance in, I'll make up the number, update 1.54.
750,000.
And it phased rollout. Casey got it before me. So we did a jungle.
That was a good lead, by the way.
Road to Ruins. And I didn't have it. And I was like, unbelievable VO2. Like, it was completely different for people who didn't have the update. So I'm going to say, as long as you have Zwift open, you don't restart it, it doesn't auto update, and doesn't force it, you're going to be able to ride with the old thing. Now, eventually they may just
force it.
Say, hey, you cannot connect to the servers, but I don't know. But I know with Casey and me, man, oh yeah, he was like at 220 watts where I'm at 400 to stay in the group. It was unbelievable.
So what's the goal of not updating?
Just I don't know, kind of. There is no true goal because the XP and the level 100 I don't care about, but it's just kind of like, hey, you changed it. People
that sounds about right for this show. Oh, there's no real goal. There's no. We're just doing it.
I'm just doing it.
I would like to know, how long can you not update Zwift for? That's
that'd be awesome.
And maybe that's the actual. Yeah, maybe that's the actual end game. See how long I can go and update.
There's our goal. Yes, that's the goal.
let's see here. What
Have
am
you
I on?
noticed-
RGT would, because you couldn't get on an RGT ride if it was like, hey, you got to
Yeah.
update. Like you couldn't get
I'm
into it.
on 163.0 right now, and right now I'm actually watching Maria ride around McCurry because I was supposed to do a
Also-
Jersey unlock, and
Sounds
I just
amazing.
never done. Yeah.
You also
Watching
have about
Maria go
5
around McCurry.
seconds to hit update later. Otherwise, the
Yeah.
game will update. Just so other people know, if you don't want to update, you need to hit update later real fast. Because I'm on 1.64 now, and I didn't want to be for science.
Oh, so so you can't ride the TT events with the Penarilla Espada challenge because that last right there, it says
Oh, yeah.
update to game version 1.64.
Well,
Oh, that challenge. I mean, they announced it hard, and I thought it was going to be like cool. And I've watched a bunch of streamers do it, and it's like, what is the goal? What is the goal? Just
I
to
didn't-
ride as long as you can with the bot? Like,
What? I don't know what this is. You got to tell me what this is.
so that
Yeah,
big. Here, actually, I'll show
I
you
am
the
not
screen.
in Zwift right now. Like I
It's
don't think I've ridden it in a month.
big. I don't know who Big Mig is. Is it?
It's Miguel. Oh,
Miguel
Big
Indurain.
Mig is Miguel Indurain.
Oh, okay.
Wait, hold on. Let's hear this Canadian say it again. Go again.
Miguel Indurain.
Close enough. That works for me.
Yeah,
Miguel
bet it does.
Indurain. Miguel Indurain.
To
Indurain.
my knowledge,
It's very
there's
Canadian.
no. It's just a challenge. It's no Jersey unlock. You don't get that cool looking bike or anything, right?
no. The challenge literally is just to
Just to ride with it.
ride with him as long as you can.
Yeah.
But the problem is there's drafting.
Wait, isn't it like it's
So
six
he's
point
Can you
going
four?
explain what ride with him means? Like ride with him.
It's just like a pace partner.
Draft the bot. He's just a pace partner.
Yeah.
But he rides at 6.3, but he weighs 120 pounds.
Oh,
So everyone else is like riding like 4.1. And
Scott's saying it's not that easy. He's calling us out. I haven't done
Isn't
it,
it?
so
I just watched
Yeah.
like Big Trouser and like Lumo ride with them for like a long time. A long
so
time.
he just rides all the time, or he rides for an
Yeah.
hour at that. He rides for 6.3 watts a kilo for an hour.
Forever. Forever. He's never allowed to stop. He's never.
So it's a challenge for nothing.
I think it's
It's a
just to
challenge.
say-
It's this challenge, right?
well, okay. Say like for me, riding a
Bragging rights?
6.4K, that would be a hard ride. So that could be like the challenge part to like your personal challenge. Can you ride with him for 2 minutes, 5 minutes, an hour? Kind of like that. Yeah, right. Scott's saying a personal challenge. So I think that's how I looked at it. If there's not any unlock, it's just like the other day I rode with the A bot, and a handful of times I rode with the A bot because it's very challenging for me. And so I think that's what it is. Just a personal challenge. Can you ride at 6 point?
I can't believe Zwift can't just do this low hanging fruit stuff. They do this crazy, obscure stuff, but they can't just do like really easy stuff updates. Like it's so mind boggling to me that they're spending time on this stuff when they could just easily fix the things that people just rip into them about after every update. Like, oh, this and dinosaur suits and big wheels and Tour of Watopia and all these things that they spend all this time on. And it's like, can't you just make the game like polished? Yes, no. Am I just complaining because I'm Mr. Grumpy Pants with this damn game? It's like the low hanging fruit. They just like, oh well, we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
We're gonna do the Big Mig challenge, whatever the hell this thing is. Just run a pace bot. Maybe that is low hanging fruit for them.
Why couldn't they make it look
I think
like
it's
him?
easy.
Why did it have to be a bot? I mean, they're
How
using
many
his
people
name.
complained they couldn't figure out what a pace partner was beforehand?
People don't want bots. That's why they don't ride Indie Velo, right? People don't want bots. They want to ride with real people. That's why I'm in Zwift. And now they're riding with the fucking bot. Yes?
But they know who the bot is. That's the difference.
Oh, got it.
They know.
Got it.
So
I know.
I understand now. I understand. It's because people like Zwift. I get it. and they try to blow smoke up my ass when they say, "Oh no, it's this." Yeah. Apologists. We don't want bots. I want to ride the thing, and then they ride with bots.
That is very true, actually.
All the pace bots are just like, well, the C's and D's, because everyone likes to cruise with the pace bot, is packed all the time. Is packed. Well, but we don't want to ride with bots. Yes, you're riding with bots.
So actually, but yes. So the pace bot, though, you're not actually riding with the bot. You're riding with all the other people that show up for the bot.
No.
So the bot is like a coffee shop. It's the meeting spot to meet all your friends.
That's exactly right. And Andy's on the same thing here. He's saying you ride with the people.
When the bot disappears, do the people stick around and just ride together?
No, because you lose your points.
Because you're riding with the bot. Because you're riding with the bot.
Yeah.
Come on in. Come on.
It's a group ride that's always on, and that's why people ride the pace partners. And if you remember when they expanded the amount of watts per kilogram bots, Zwift Insider, we might be able to find the article quick, but there's like 60% of the riders ride less
bots in the races that I want to do. Put 10 bots in the races that have 3 people in them. I can have 15 people, or whatever, 13, 14 people. Put bots in races. If people are cool with bots, put bots in races, because I'd rather race bots in Zwift than race 2 people.
They occasionally have those hill climb on the Alp with the pace bots.
Great. I like bots. I'm not complaining that bots exist.
Yeah.
I'm complaining that people are complaining about bots.
They don't
complainers.
Yeah, they don't. The pace partners, they're nice, but like, I'm just as fun riding around and exploring Watopia. Other people, they need.
If other people didn't care about them, they wouldn't be packed.
I only ride short climb portals now. It's the only time I ever ride over and over again. Short climb portals, bonus XP, game in the system. Norm, I'm coming for you.
Well, we have, but we have more portal, what is it? Virtual velo rides. What is it? Mount Fuji. It's the new ones here. What are the new updates?
The new
Queens
updates.
Highway after party.
So these were already routes, but now you can get route badges for these routes.
Oh my god!
But they're event-only routes, so you have to find an event. See, this is another fail. What should happen is when you go into the search for events, you should be able to filter it by route, because how the heck do I find a route randomly that does the Queens Highway? Do I have to open up every single flipping event? Be like, nope.
I'll post a link on the chat here.
Oh, is it a website that's not in Zwift? We got to go to
a third-party site.
Third-party website.
My favorite.
Let's see.
Because Zwift can't do it themselves.
Yeah. So I'll post it here for anyone out there.
Routes by sauce.
It's Zwift hacks, and then it's events. Like I just posted the events link, and then you click on search, and then you can go to route name and type in your route. Not within Zwift, a third-party site, our favorite thing.
How long have we had the routes actually in the game, labeled in the event?
Christ,
2 months?
All of those?
3 months?
A long time. Those are all old routes.
You mean in the main menu when you can see what they are? Is that what you mean?
No, where you could actually go to an event and see what the route was. Route.
Oh, that.
Route. It's like 2 months ago when they updated that, right? 2-3 months ago?
Yeah. I don't. Yeah. Sometime in the past a little bit.
So 4 event-only routes will be getting route badges. And so you can only do these events to get the badge?
Yeah, you have to find. There's several other event-only ones. But these were previous routes, like there was events for them, but you didn't get a badge. So now you get a badge for them.
Just go to, I wish Zwift would just go to microtransactions, man. Just start making more money. Just make the cosmetics they should have did microtransactions years ago to get more money, to have enough development, to make the game better. instead of this.
In-game power-up
This
packs
stuff
for
is
20
so.
bucks. So you just have like the arrow power-up 10 times.
Yeah, I don't know. What, I mean,
No, they would never do that ever.
They should.
They should. I would
They
totally
totally
buy
should
them.
do microtransactions. People would buy the what is it? What was that number you guys posted? Zwift or sauce makes 10. Well,
Yeah.
allegedly, the whatever the bro
let me
science.
see if I'll find it
or
real quick.
$10,000 a month. If everyone's paying the whatever $2 or $1 a month, there's like 5,000 users.
That's all info that Zwift could just show on their own HUD, and that you could choose to whether you wanted to show it or not.
Yeah, you can either do that. But I'm just saying, like, there's people that will pay for little things.
And actually,
And you
most
can
of that
make-
stuff is in IndieVelo.
Yeah, of course. Well, because whatever, good development.
Bots.
Yeah.
So, and this is on on Sauce's Patreon page.
Full
There's
disclosure.
Yeah, like it's out there. All you gotta do is click on about. At the bottom, it says paid members, 5,618 at this moment. And that's $11,236 a month. And at $2 a month, do you realize how easy it's going to be for probably half of those people just to be like, oh shit, what's this $2 coming out? Oh hell, whatever. I use Sauce every now and then. You know what I mean?
So I bet he's got 5,500 paying users, but only like 2,000 people that are actually actively using it.
Yeah.
Because all the other 3,000 people forgot that they're paying $2 a month.
Probably that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I Sauce is nice, but like it's annoying because it's an extra thing I gotta add in.
Everything like that is annoying. That's why, like, I don't want Zwift Power. Put it in the game. Put it in the game.
So I haven't used Sauce in a while.
So what is Zwift's take on microtransactions? Like, why are they not doing them? I remember hearing Eric Min say, "No, we don't ever want to do that."
Right.
Like
and that's
a long
the
time
only
ago, like
thing
on a
that they've ever
Zwiftcast,
talked
it's like-
about is they don't want any microtransactions because that was the introduction of the drops.
Because they couldn't afford the staff to compensate the staff to handle microtransactions, or they don't have the ability to do it.
Well, and Clutch is right, and that's my opinion. If I'm paying whatever it is, $15, $16 a month right now, I don't want to pay an extra $5.
Then don't.
Right. I don't have to, but I don't want to be like, oh, well, like with Fortnite, I couldn't even tell you how much money I've spent on those stupid skins, probably a couple $100, if not more. And because it's free, you don't think about, oh, here, right now it's a Star Wars event. I have most of the stuff, but they unleashed the new Dagobah Luke. And I'm like, well, now I got to spend $18 on that goddamn thing. You know what I mean? So,
but why am I trying to think for this company? Why am I trying to think for this?
But I get what you're saying.
But you already pay. You want everything. You pay for everything. Oh, I paid for everything. Okay, I get it. How about?
And that's like
that was what our business model was then. And now we have enough users that are doing microtransactions and we're making enough money. We could lower the monthly subscription or eliminate the monthly subscription. And then all of a sudden you're just living off of it's free to play and you can buy whatever kit you want and buy every bike, whatever you want, because it's microtransactions.
Well, this is my kind of half point of view. I think it's the Crew on Steam. Ubisoft shut down the original Crew game so people would buy the Crew 2, the Motorfest, and people are flipping out. They're like, because they physically paid the $60 for the game, and then like they shut the servers off when they released a new game.
But that's not this game.
It's not this game, but it's the same principle. So like if you're going to pay $15 a month, like you're paying for this, and then to get into certain events or you want a certain power up, you got to pay. I think people
just
would
cosmetics. I'm not saying paying to events. Well, I'm saying you want a jersey, you don't get to sit in the pin for free. You have to pay for it. That's what I'm saying. And then Zwift could hold on to staff, not fire people every 6 months. Maybe have some better development, and get people to go, hey, cool, I'm into it. Like, oh, I don't want you to do microtransactions, but people are like, I want this kit, I'm gonna pay for it. Okay, cool, I'm helping the cause.
Oh, if you don't want pay.
Yeah, but cosmetic. That's what I'm saying. Instead of the, hey, what are they doing? It'd be like, hey, we're changing the way we are doing business to make the game better for the people that want to be here. But that's just me thinking out loud, and maybe I'm like, whatever.
I would so buy a Yeti suit in game.
Well,
sure, buy the dinosaur thing for Halloween. During Halloween, you buy the Halloween suit. If you don't want the Halloween suit, you don't buy the Halloween suit.
Pee-wee Herman's bike.
Fine.
That should be in the game.
Yeah. Pure cosmetics, I'm fine with if they want to charge for it. But like if you're saying like power ups and like whatever like that,
I'm not talking about the game, like gameplay. I'm talking about cool. Oh, I want a Oakley sunglasses. Fine, sponsored by Oakley.
Yeah,
pay for it.
I get that. That
you
would
want
work.
Cool rims? Buy them. Then Zwift will make better money and maybe retain talent and do think maybe they would have the hardware by now. I'm just saying that. I'm not saying like nickel and dime. If people don't want to pay, they don't pay. That's like people like that pay for fast pass at Disneyland. Oh, do you pay for fast pass at Disneyland? Yes, I do, because I want to cut the line or whatever. But you paid for an entry fee. How did you get? Don't you get the free entry to Disneyland and then you should pay for fast pass? No. You pay to get into Disneyland and then you pay for the VIP stuff, right?
Fast pass is no longer a thing. It's now Genie Plus and Lightning Lanes. Come on.
Okay, whatever. But you can pay if you want to pay to have the VIP experience. You can.
Yeah.
And then if you don't, you want the regular. That's what I'm talking about. You still got to pay to get into the place. That's upkeep of servers. Hey, we still have to pay for we lease the land or whatever it is from wherever. That's part of the entry fee. That's $15 a month. We have to keep the servers up. You want to do more stuff? We want to do more stuff. You got to pay for concessions. You want to eat? You can bring your own food and you can't bring drinks or whatever it is to the ball game. You can bring your own peanuts. You can bring your own food, but you got to buy drinks. It's a balance of like, hey, people are like, I don't want to walk around with a backpack. I'm going to buy my stuff when I get in there. Great. Yeah. We can improve your experience with more money. Well, that's what I would be more frustrated if they had more money and they were not doing better with their physics. Then I would be more upset. I'm like frustrated that they're not taking advantage of the willingness of the community.
You're right with the frustration aspect of that, because we keep comparing like the glacial pace of updates and features that Zwift has compared to
once a week. They got updates once a week.
Yeah, but they're shit. They don't do anything.
Oh, are they?
Whoa. Yeah.
No, they're not amazing.
No.
Yeah.
Like no one. Okay, I shouldn't say this.
This is gonna be the summer of fun with Zwift. Didn't you see the update recently? Summer of fun. All these crazy updates. We get the Pinarello bot event.
Yeah.
Oh, we don't want to ride with bots. I want to ride with real people. Bot event.
So this current update, they didn't add anything game except fix a bug and add a couple badges. That's what I mean. Like, there's so much. There's another platform, IndieVelo, that's very, very consistent with actual impactful updates, and that's what I'm meaning. Like, I'm still blown away by what George and Bjorn can do, and I think it's just mainly George. And Zwift has hundreds of people and what seems to be millions of dollars at their disposal, and that's kind of surprising with how long it's been. And I know Zavaris and you guys have said off stream about people are finally starting to realize, hey, go on, we want some more. We want this. Like, this is kind of annoying. Like, this is nothing that we asked for.
The forums are definitely the percentage of people disagreeing with Zwift is starting to tip, because before, if you went on the forum and you said anything bad about Zwift, you would get 99% of the posts. Hundreds of posts would be like, no, you're an idiot. Zwift is awesome. And now Zwift will put like an update post and the first 10 responses are like, are you freaking kidding me? This is stupid. Like, no one asked for this. Why aren't you doing things that everyone's asked for?
There's a lot of that. I see that like when I saw the last update, not this recent one, but the one before this one or whatever it was. And somebody I think it was a Zwift Insider. Somebody said, oh, great. Thanks for the update. I didn't on my list of things that I want, none of the stuff I want has been addressed. But good on the update. Keep updating. It's like they have an update of stuff that doesn't really hit the
Casey made a
core
great
audience.
point.
Well,
That's
read
a
it.
great point. It says, Casey says, people are starting to be here longer, like us, and they are getting fed up. And that's exactly it. Once the initial, wow, Zwift is great, I'm riding in my basement, which I think a lot of people adopted from COVID. Now they're kind of like, well, damn, man, like this kind of sucks. Like nothing is changing. Nothing is getting added. So I think Casey's right.
They're going to stay there.
I think
Casey's frustrated and he goes to Zwift every day.
You still stay there, but
yeah, I'm
complain.
not. I've gone to Indie Velo. Like I'm pretty much Indie Velo exclusive now.
I would have been an Indie Velo in my whoosh, but the whole
you got a free year.
I got a free year of Zwift, so I'm like, I'm going to use Zwift.
Right.
Not
when I get into Indie Velo, my
Fuji,
stuff works. When I get into Velo, my stuff works. Maybe it does in Zwift again. I don't know. But like when I do an erg workout or I want to do something, I like Indie Velo, man. It's lightweight. I open it and I can just ride. And it works. That's what I want. See, the thing is, I'm not launching it for a kit release. I'm not launching it for XP. I'm not doing stuff. Yeah, I get jealous because there's real people in real races on Zwift. Like I watch people race and I'm like, oh, I wish there was people in Indie Velo, but whatever.
Do we know what the user base is for Indie Velo? Do we have any idea?
Does it matter?
You'll have to set up the server.
If there was 20,000 people and there were still bot races, would there be a big influx of people? No, I don't think so.
It was just a general question. Like it doesn't necessarily, it's not going to sway me one way or the other to, I guess, at this point. But I think if the graphics, once they eventually update the graphics, I will definitely ride it more. Because that's I think my biggest holdup right now. Just visually, whenever you've got like a wig that's like 4 sizes too big over your head, it's like a helmet.
So your hair? Zwift graphics are okay for you?
They, out of the options we have, they are they're the best combination of what the game looks like, what the world looks like, how my dude moves through the world. My whoosh is, I think, better, except for the gratings, because they're, your wheels are in line with the gratings. That drives me nuts. And I'm fine. I love Indie Velo, or I love my whoosh as I'm riding solo. Once I catch up to a pack, another person, and you got that power delay, seesaw action, whatever draft physics they got, that's when I get annoyed with my whoosh. And that's why I kind of quit riding it, because I got so irritated. It's like, if I want to draft on someone, I think it's
there's no free riding in my whoosh, which I know you prefer. Like
there's no free riding. Are you drunk? What are you talking about? There's
one world. You have to leave one world and then go to another world.
Oh yeah, it's like
within
RGB
that
in
world,
that respects.
Within that world,
you like changing directions. Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah,
got it.
You got everywhere to go. Like there's a 100-kilometer route where you only double over yourself for like 20 kilometers in one of the, I don't know which world it is.
I forgot.
Can Zwift say that?
You don't like. Yeah, you can free ride all over. And
no, you can free ride, but you can't double back like Zwift. If you do 100K route, you probably ride on the same roads 18 times.
Yes. Yeah, I think
I
could be wrong.
Totally matters, because when Zwift comes out with like a new Mercury update, they're like, hey everyone, we've given you 6 kilometers of new road, but we've given you 45 new routes. And you're like,
so when you want to free ride, you want to free ride and not touch the roads that already exist.
Well, it's just that's part of a whole update. If you're going to say you have new roads, be like, we have 120 kilometers of new roads, and they don't double back on any of the other roads.
Yeah.
It's like their marketing strategy of saying that we've given you 5 kilometers of roads and 47 new routes.
Yeah, well, that's easy for them to do.
Yeah,
that's a marketing thing. I'm asking what you guys prefer, regardless of what Zwift's marketing.
I want new roads. I want like 100K of new roads that like don't touch other roads. Well, within reason, you do have to touch, but if the majority of the route is on existing roads, it's not really a new route. They didn't add a new road.
And Zwift is adding a new road in June. In June, the grade, it's going to be well, I'm guessing the steep ass climb up to the backside of the Epic KOM. So we are getting that, and I don't know what language this is or it's supposed to sound, but Cued de la Cumbra. I butchered it, so make fun of me. But whatever that is, it's supposed to mimic that. So we are getting it. And I hope that this new expansion that went out to the jungle keeps getting more roads and different shortcuts or not shortcuts, but different turnoffs added to it. Because the road network within my whoosh is enormous. From the first time I tried it long ago to what it is now, it's enormous. Yeah, like Zavarisa is saying, hey, we got 6 kilometers of new road, but it's actually only 3 because it's 3 one way and 3 back the other. So
is that number one for you?
Me?
New
I
roads,
think so.
Like number one thing that you always want.
And I don't want new worlds.
New roads, not badges, not routes, new actual physical roads to ride on.
Yep. I've said it 17,000 times. France every July should have an update on a new piece of road from either, especially the E15 with Zwift, whatever the hell it's called, the Tour de Femmes with Zwift. Yeah, something. They sponsor the damn thing.
It's here. You want to hear it in English? Yeah. Tour de France avec Femme, presented by Zwift, right?
Yeah, long name. Let's get some new routes. We know the Tour de France happens every single July. There should be either a Tour de France route, or especially as long as Zwift is sponsoring the female Tour de France, we need to get a piece of that. Well, I don't understand why not, because essentially France is Scotland, except for 25 times bigger. You know what I mean? You got a giant climb and a big loop. What's the difference between the little, UCI worlds? Nothing. It's the same thing. They haven't updated it. You got this massive, it's just bigger loops.
But your satisfaction from Zwift giving you the number one thing you want, and you still are cool with Zwift, are you really frustrated with them? They're not giving me new worlds. They're not giving me new roads. They're not giving me new worlds. I
want McCurry, France, and Watopia to expand. They can leave everything else, and I'll be perfectly happy. I ride Watopia 95% of the time as it is now.
So what would quantify successful expansion for you? Quarterly, yearly, monthly?
If they could every 3 months add in, say, 10 kilometers of road to Watopia or McCurry. Yeah, more jungle. Yes. If we could get more jungle routes, that would be phenomenal. But you see what I'm saying? Like, I just, you have a team for building worlds, and I understand it's a proprietary software.
Do you? You know that for sure.
There was a video or interview or something with the guy who designs the worlds, and that, like, every little detail in there a while ago. And he said it's a pain in the ass. Yeah, he probably got laid off, honestly. So I don't know. We could maybe find that video, and next week we can go over it. I don't know if
adding I can find more roads leads into the next part of Mount Fuji. Is it a fail? Yeah. I think they totally failed. And I think probably everyone agrees that it should have been a route off of McCurry or Neokio.
So it's not a route.
It's a climb portal. It's a flipping climb portal. Yep. I actually watched WoW So Clutch ride most of it. And it just made me mad the entire time I watched his stream. I was like, are you
Canadian? Fellow Canadian, yeah.
Probably lives near Cochrane, where the making of Rad was.
He might.
Because that was a perfect opportunity to add another route to McCurry, where you went off, you climbed a mountain, and then you saw the sights of the city as you climb the mountain would be beautiful scenery, give people tons to look at. Instead, you spend 2 hours looking at the colored road because it's long. It's like 23K of colored road. I'm going to do it just to say I did it, but it's going to be once and I'm never going to do it again.
Yeah.
I've only done one climb portal. That's it. Since they started, I did one.
I think I've done
I don't
3.
get it. It's whatever. What I want is they're not giving me what I want, so I'm out for the time being, which probably means I'm out for a while until I get into some event that I want to race. But all right, I don't get it. Mount Fuji climb portal.
I think that's the big thing with Zwift is they're doing just enough to appease the masses, which keeps.
No, I don't think they're doing that.
interested.
I don't think they're doing enough to just to appease the masses. I think they're just doing whatever they want, and they just
No,
know
they're
they
doing
got
whatever they want. But I just mean it keeps the masses, the 99%, happy enough. You know, because really the vocal
people that
minority,
are unhappy still pay.
Oh, of course they do. And then they complain like us. I'm not paying.
I mean, I paid
but-
for it at the beginning of the month. I forgot that I should have turned it off. I forgot. To pay.
You forgot.
I forgot. Yeah, I was like, oh, Zwift and updated. It updates every first of the month. So
I think the funniest April Fool's joke was when the climb portals came out. And the joke was someone made a meme where it was when you went into the climb portal, you teleported to RGT.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm still waiting for the 4th challenge.
The 4th challenge.
Still waiting. I've been talking about the 4th challenge since 2020.
Well, Casey just keeps buying trainers with like free.
Casey is the most disgruntled loyalist ever. He's like, oh,
See, if you just keep buying a trainer every 6 months, you keep getting like.
Yeah,
No, RGT is definitely not going.
It was October. October of last year, it shut down.
Yeah, it was done October 31st, last day. I was like one of the last riders. I remember that. I was riding around.
Yeah, you had the live stream one to see how long it'd go.
Yeah.
I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving ever.
Yeah, left it running.
Yeah.
And they're like, we can't shut the servers down. Brian won't turn the game off.
I still like the game. I miss it. I'll forever miss it.
Yeah.
It's like the what is it? The crew 1 when they shut down the servers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. People were irritated.
They were not irritated by RGT shutting down. People don't even know what the hell that was.
Yeah.
People won't even be irritated if Zwift shut down. I don't think people would be that.
You don't think so? I disagree with that. We got. No. I'll say that 1 million people that would.
No, I think maybe 3,000 to 5,000 people would be pissed. The rest of people would be like, whatever.
Casey, the biggest problem with Cade Sport was that I could never actually start a ride.
Oh, Cade Sport.
Where was it in the menu?
Cade Sport was essentially a 1990s engineering like test program. It's like, how do you make it so unobtrusive or so obtrusive for people to, or not obtrusive? What is it? So unintuitive for like, you can do all these options. It's like, I just want to ride. How do you make it easy to ride?
You'd sit there with your mouse scrolling like, where's start ride? How do I pick that?
Yeah, they had innovative stuff like the playlist, which is what Zwift is doing now in their companion app. I remember seeing that update. I watched the GP Llama thing, but like the playlist thing where you're like, oh, I'm going to do a ride and then a workout. Oh, and then a race, and you build all these different things, and it just plays this ride for you where it's a bunch of different things. A lot of it comes down, and Brian is a big proponent for cosmetics. Like, I'm with you. That's why on my stream the other day when I was talking to Bjorn and talking a lot about Indy Velos, can we get some donated assets or some way to make it look better? Like, I think that would help people be into it more. As if everyone didn't look like, Beetlejuice or the shrunken head guy from Beetlejuice. That's what everyone's heads are small. They're too small and the shoulders are weird, and just It's just not. It's like if for a year out, it's like it's a little beginner looking.
That's what annoyed me with Ruby. The avatars had
yeah.
Like Ruby, I liked Ruby. The video quality on some of the videos that they made was awesome, and especially on the custom courses they made. But the avatars, the shoulders were like 4 feet, 5 feet wide. Yeah. And I was like, and I think it's still like that. And I'm like, how have you not fixed that?
Yeah. I'll give credit to where credit is due. Zwift actually makes you look cool. Like that's not, I mean, I think their animation, their characters, like it's at least cool looking. Like everyone looks cool, you know, and not everyone looks cool in real life. So being able to have like a coolness or a cool, like a polished feel, Zwift has that. If other things could be like the rocking of the shoulder, like the over exaggerated thing in my whoosh, I'm not a fan of that. I wasn't a fan of that in RGT where everyone looked like they were in spin class, but there was some polishedness to certain things, and Zwift has got that done. That's one thing that they spend a lot of time on. That's not my number one thing, but that's a big thing for people. The big hurdle for people is like, if you're going to spend an hour looking at something you don't really like looking at, that's like watching a TV show you don't really want to watch.
Yeah.
You know? So any questions from the audience? They've been hanging out, listening to me be frustrated by things that always frustrate me.
I'm trying to find the video with the game designer. That's what I've been sidetracked with searching for.
Find his name, and then see if he still works for Zwift. That's the first thing we should do.
I have no idea where I saw it or how long ago it was, so I'm just searching on Zwift Insider right now. Ironically, I found the second Zwiftcast episode had Carissa Min, which is a member of our little streaming community, Ted King, Ray Brown, and Kevin Abt on the second episode. So that's kind of cool to see. Carissa was like, I knew she was one of the OGs, but she was on the second Zwiftcast, which is no longer with us, unfortunately.
Well, it doesn't really matter about all these other apps, because once they open up the beta to more people for Watt games, we'll be kicking crabs in no time.
Oh, dude, I'm actually looking forward to Watt games.
Did you? They actually had a video on on their YouTube channel where it shows like a boat with a cannon and you're riding.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I want to do that.
And how funny is it? You've been talking about that. We got to storm the Yeti and all that, and then it's very possible we could be on a ship attacking each other by our power and launching cannons.
We got to get in the game. We got to get
complaining about how the physics isn't realistic. Driving your boat car thing.
Well, I want to capture the flag. That's what I want. I want to do capture the flag games. That'd be kind of cool.
I honestly think that's something that, like, if I'm just in a goofy mood and I just want to, or like I really don't want to do a race, I just want to ride and do something to entertain me, I think that's going to be pretty entertaining.
Well, I think it's going to, I think it's going to work because it's so far out there from what anyone's doing.
And that's what we said when you talked to them, and they were like, "Oh, we really like the idea of you guys just going out." Like, because we were talking when Lee and I were talking about this last week. It was like, was it last week? It was last week.
Yeah, last week.
And then Lee, for people who don't know, we talked about Watt games a little bit because Lumo sent me a link to it, and then we talked about it, and then Lee sent the link to our show to them, and they were like, "Wow, you guys were talking about it in depth," and we were like super hyped on it. Hyped from whatever afar. But like doing some in-depth, like, hey, go like get rid of the bikes and do things that are like not even cycling, just so to make it even more game and like the opposite of immersive and simulation, which is what I want for when I'm doing my cycling. But I like playing games too, and make it fun, make it like a game, you know, like do like Rampart or a Kick. Remember that'd be a cool version of like, Kicks. Or like a Tron cycle where you're trying to like block the other rider. I can't remember if Kinix was doing it. Kicks is QIX. If anyone knows the game, it's an old like arcade game where you're trying to not get hit, but you can go fast or slow. Look up, this Kick, QIX. You guys seen this game? Okay, whatever. You have like a square screen. you're trying to fill in like 75% of the screen before you get hit by the whatever the enemy. And you can go fast, which is lower points versus slower speed going, and you'll get more points. That is something you can do, but you could also do like versus, where it's like you're trying to fill in the screen while somebody else is trying to fill in the screen while you're pedaling, because it's like the Tron bike or movement with turning. So you could use like a keyboard or something like that. It's like a easy game, like Snake or something, right? Do that while you're pedaling. That would be fun. I think that would be fun to like have games where you're like playing against other people instead of just like who's got the best fitness. I'm for who's got the best fitness, and I love cycling and I like sports, but I also like games.
Who's got the best cannon pedal boat?
Yeah. And that's where you're like, sorry, Brian, that's where you're like, hey, maybe you're building up time or sweat equity, as we like to talk about, where you're like, hey, you're getting a better cannon. Your cannon can move faster through the water. Because you're putting your sweat equity in, you're gaining stuff. If you want to do microtransactions and buy it, fine. That's going to piss everyone off, but it's going to help the developer to like, maybe this could help us grow because we have income.
Actually, that's the type of game where all of that would work.
Yes.
Because you still have to put the watts in. It's just my cannon blows up more stuff.
Yeah. Or you get spread fire, or, like you're getting different things from like, because I love Konami games, like Contra and or Gradius, however you want to pronounce it, where you're having like, laser beam or multi-fire, or strong, like a shotgun in a game. Shotgun is spread fire, but it's like it's closer range. It's not a long range thing. These are decisions you're making because you're doing something that's a game with decisions that help your gameplay, right? Because
you're not caring about draft pack dynamics.
Yes, you're not caring about past. You're just playing a game. That's why I like that Kinix game, which is KINIX. Remember that, Lee?
Well, you streamed it a few times.
Yeah, I streamed it a couple times, and they're just dormant. Like it just disappeared. Like I didn't get any updates after I asked them, like, "Hey, can you do this?" So like, "That's great. Thanks for check this out. Like, thanks for streaming it." And then it was just like, whew, maybe they are back and going again.
Yeah, because I downloaded it after I watched you stream it.
Yeah,
and I played it offline a few times, and then what happened?
Dude, the bike dodging, like just the left, right, just that cool. That's fun. The tank thing was weird, and the whatever, like in the garage, like trying to just like it's like blowing up a balloon, right? Like pedaling to blow up a balloon faster than somebody else. That wasn't as fun, but like the left to right steering, dodging things, like it'd be a great game. I just thought of it right now. The light speeders in Star Wars, May the 4th, right, Brian?
I got my
the light speeders game.
Mandalorian short on. Yeah. I think, but like you guys have been talking about it right there, going over the top with the game.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about Zwift. Like I want Zwift to be more game, and they don't. Like the cooldown should be whatever. The power-ups should be better power-ups. Like their power-ups are trash. Oh yeah, make it Mario Kart. Do it. They won't do it because it'll piss everyone off, because everyone wants just enough simulation of a real bike thing. But then they're like, they want so this back and forth. That's why I think Watt Games is in a good position to do something that is just not cycling. Like do on the bike game stuff, which other people have tried to do, like Connects and some other people, where it's like the one that was the alien that you like spin around, you shoot a bunch of aliens. Matt Jazz was doing it like 3 years ago, like during pandemic or what it was, and it was like
that one.
You just you're like in the home base and you pedal, and the guy would just shoot and defend. You're like defending the.
Well, there was that one called Soul.
That's what I think it was something like that.
Yeah, that kind of disappeared because I played that a little bit, and I was kind of pumped because it was like you were on Mars.
Yeah.
And your missions were to go get like pieces to build like the water machine. And so
so quest-oriented stuff. Yes.
Yeah. So you're like, okay, you have to do this ride to go get this piece of equipment. So you're like, well, I guess I'm doing that. And then once you finished it, you're like, well, I'm going to go ride and do this other. It was totally quest-based. And then you built your space station on doing these.
That's motivating. That would be something that, because like I'm in a point right now where like I'm not motivated to just ride around, or I want to do a workout because I want to get fit again, because I like the way that I feel when I'm fit. But it is hard. It's mentally taxing, but it's also physically taxing. But then there's also sometimes where you're just like, hey, I want to do this quest, like go and ride to the base camp on Mars and do this quest thing. That would be motivating. And maybe it's like, hey, you're getting chased by remember like the Tyrannosaurus Rex that we watched in that Instagram video from Watt Games, is like, hey, the enemies are chasing you, which then creates a workout / interval session, because it's sort of like taking your mind off of like, hey, I just got to look at a bar, the erg bar, or having the erg do it. You're like, you're trying to dodge the Tyrannosaurus Rex, so you're going harder, right?
Yeah.
Those are ways to, I don't know, push the development of gaming for one thing, but also maybe they can have peripherals that come out of that could then be reintegrated into simulated riding or cycling. You're like, hey, we did this in Watt Games or whatever it was, and now this device could be used for racing the crit in Zwift or something. It's like, that's where like the innovation, like games pushing something, then it's pushing the other way, right?
Looks like Soul Cycling it's actually still on Steam listed, but you can't download it. But it looks like the original developer got bought out by another developer, and then the other developer shelved the game. So
I haven't ridden on GTA 5 mod in a while. That might have improved. It might have improved. And I haven't done that in a while. I don't know what the version is right now. But the GTA 5 bike mod, is one that's also sort of like, we're taking a game that's already established and we've modified it to use the bike controller or the whatever smart trainer to control the character inside the game. Right? I don't know. These are just thoughts. Any questions? No questions? Fine. We want to play the music?
Do we really want to play the music?
I'm ready to get out of here. But you got more stuff to talk about? I think we covered most
pretty
things.
good.
Yeah, we covered.
That was a good hour of random
Did you already
stuff.
shut the stream off?
No.
Okay, don't shut the stream off. Brian and I both have to confirm before you shut the stream off. Because
when you said, does anyone have questions, there's like a 10-second delay in chat of someone actually has to type. So I was going to give everyone like 30 seconds.
That's all right. Give them time.
What to give? I'm going through all these Zwift articles looking for this, and I can't find it quickly. I'll have to go through other means. But Michael Knudsen, he did V Everest in 7 hours and 17 minutes. Jesus Christ. That's insane.
7 hours? That is fast.
7 hours and 17 minutes did a V Everest. That's a world record as of January 6, 2021. I clicked on the Strava segment and it's been removed from Strava. So I have no idea if that's current, but as of 4 years ago.
Trainer difficulty?
Well, to be official, it has to be 100% on the whatever site that verifies it.
Can you do
the V Everest?
Can you do a V Everest on IndieVelo?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can do it anywhere you want, as long as it's the same climb over and over and over again.
Yeah.
See, rules upon rules. Can you do a V Everest in Watt Games?
Not yet. So you'd have rocket boosters, and then it would be cheating.
Yeah. How many feathers can you use on the V Everesting? How many are allowed?
There actually is an official rule website.
Yeah, I'm going through right now to verify where you can do it.
There's nothing like something that was like, it's like made up. Somebody made it up, and then hey, let's do rules.
Pretty much.
Oh,
yeah.
It's like the beer app. Someone made it up, but there's rules.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to follow the rules strictly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Frank Garcia, was in charge of CRV Cade or Cade Sport, whatever the hell it was. He's listed as Watopia. Does that mean he was the first to do it in Watopia?
Maybe.
That's a Casey question. He probably knows.
Yeah, he's listed Watopia, Frank Garcia, London, Christian Jensen, Innsbruck, Evan.
What are you looking at? What are you talking about?
The V Ever site. Oh,
So
you
the
guys
first
made me
person to ever do it?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. And it has each.
All right, now I'm really ready to play the music because you're going way into the weeds on this. I don't even know what you're talking about, and then and we have an audio only audience that's going. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Well, I'm the.
You're derailing the. You're derailing the show.
So it said the first V Everses in each Zwift world. Frank Garcia, Watopia, and then London was at Christian Jensen, Evan Benuiz, and Oliver Dowd in Innsbruck. New York was Fred Costa Pinto, Richmond, Marcel Biscoff, Bologna, Jan F, or Jan F. I'm not sure if that's Jan Frodo or Frodino, however his name is said. Yorkshire, Tomas.
All right, hold on a second. For the audio only audience, Zavris's cat is swiping him right in the nose. He's being quiet. Brian is talking about stuff that no one cares about.
Yeah.
And he's just reading off people's names that no one knows on a site that no one is visiting right now. And we should really get out of here by now. I love that you're like, oh, I was going to hope you keep reading, but the cat was swatting.
Actually, what I should have done was
swatting him right in the nose, and I had to jump in.
I should have just faded the stream out while he was talking about.
I wish you would just go for another hour, just reading all the names going down the line. All right, you can go back. All right, don't play the music. Brian, just keep reading the names. We'll all fall asleep, and then Zavris can fade it away.
All right. This is the most amazing one.
Read the names.
So, right, I am. Someone V Everson in Crit City.
All right,
they did
good night, everybody.
Johans
Good night, everyone. Keep reading. Go.
And then McCurry Islands, Aaron Leach. Scott.